Okay students, today we shall discuss the laws of chemical combinations. So in this laws of chemical combinations, so there are 4 laws, actually 5 are there, but Gillies of volumes we shall discuss in the states of matter. So here we discuss the other 4. So first of all, first law in the law of chemical combinations is law of conservation of mass. So the mass is completely conserved. Conserved in the sense remains same, means constant. So according to this law, the definition of this law is the total mass of the products in a chemical reaction is equal to the total mass of the reactants. Means mass of the reactants equals to the mass of the products, simply it is saying. Or else we can define the same law in another direction, that the mass of a reaction remains constant. So mass never changes in a particular chemical reaction. And this law of conservation of mass cannot be applied to the nuclear chemical reactions, where most of the nuclear reactions undergo loss of energy. They lose some of the mass in the form of the energy. Hence, we cannot apply the law of conservation of mass to the nuclear reactions, but other chemical reactions we can apply. Let us take an example of this law of conservation of mass, how we can predict this one. So example is, as it said, the total mass of the reaction remains same, or the mass of the reactants equals to the mass of the products. Let us take the formation of the ammonia. We know that nitrogen reacts with the 3 moles of hydrogen and forms 2 moles of ammonia. Nitrogen atomic mass is 14 grams. There are 2 such nitrogens, so that the total mass of the N2 molecule is 28 grams. And each H2 molecule mass is 2 grams, and like that there are 3 such H2 molecules. So 3 into 2 equals to 6 grams. And here it is 2 into ammonia molecular mass. Nitrogen atomic mass is 14. Like that 2 nitrogens are there, so that 2 into 14 is equals to 28 grams. And here hydrogens, each hydrogen atomic mass equals to 0,1, and like that 6 hydrogens are there, 6 into 0,1 equals to 6 grams. So this is equals to 34 grams. So total mass of the ammonia is, here this is equals to 17, together it is equals to 34 grams. One ammonia molecule is 17 grams. 2 ammonia molecules, 2 into 17 equals to 34 grams. And this side, if you add this total mass, this is also gives 34 grams. So in this reaction, if you see, the total mass of the reactants is equals to the total mass of the products. So mass of the reaction is same. No loss or no gain in the mass of the products in a particular chemical reaction, until unless you are adding something to it. So that is called the law of conservation of mass, where mass remains constant. Now let us see law of definite proportions. According to this law, elements always combine in a fixed ratio of their weights, irrespective of their source. So let us see one example. The exact definition of this particular law is the law of definite proportions. It is also called the definite proportions or constant proportions. So the combination remains constant. I will take an example. Let us try to get the water H2O. So you try to get the H2O from tap water, and try to get the same H2O from the sea, and try to get the same H2O from the drainage. Okay. So when you getting the H2O from different sources, whether it may be tap water or sea water or drainage water or river water, whatever it may be. So in all the conditions, the molecular formula of the water remains constant, that is H2O, where in H2O 2 grams of hydrogen and 16 grams of oxygen always present in the H2O molecule. So this mass ratio is always fixed, means this is always equals to 1:8. That is called as definite proportions. So definite proportions is, any compound will have the same mass ratio irrespective of their sources. From wherever you are getting, that is called as the ratio remains same. and this law does not hold good for the non-stoichiometric compounds. Non-stoichiometric compounds means compounds, if you take means stoichiometry wise compounds are two types: stoichiometric compounds and non-stoichiometric compounds. Stoichiometric compounds means the molar ratio of the elements remains whole number ratio. For example, in H2O, 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. So this ratio is a whole number ratio. But non-stoichiometric compounds do not have such type of the ratios. They will have some other ratio. For example, if we take the nickel oxide, in nickel oxide NiO, 1 nickel, 1 oxygen is there. So this is again stoichiometric compound if you take the nickel oxide like this. But if you take the nickel oxide like this, nickel 0.98 oxygen, then this is not the stoichiometric compound, it is a non-stoichiometric compound, because here nickel, for every 1 oxygen, 0.98 nickel atoms are available, but not the 1 nickel atom. So for every 1 oxygen, 1 nickel atom has to be there. But here how many nickel atoms are present? For every 1 nickel atom, 0.98 means 0.02 difference is there. So those many nickel atoms are not available. Means as per the formula, the elements are not available. So such compounds are called the non-stoichiometric compounds. So if you take the non-stoichiometric compounds, it becomes difficult to take this type of the mass ratios. We don't get the whole number mass ratios. That's why law of definite proportions or constant proportions is applicable only to the stoichiometric compounds, but not to the non-stoichiometric compounds. And I'll at the end of this explanation, I'll explain you how to identify compounds, which objective compounds are following the definite proportions or multiple proportions or other. Now let us see the another one, law of multiple proportions. So in this law of multiple proportions, according to this law, an element which combines with a fixed weight of another element to form 2 or more than 2 compounds bears a simple ratio of its weight in different compounds. Let's take an example for this. Easy to understand all these definitions. Let us take 2 compounds, H2O and H2O2. So here they said single element, an element which combines with fixed weight of the another element, fixed weight of another element. So here if you take the 2 compounds are having the same elements. Here hydrogen, oxygen, here also hydrogen, oxygen. Here what is the mass of the hydrogen? 2 grams of hydrogen, 16 grams of the oxygen. Here the mass of the hydrogen is 2 grams, but oxygen is 32 grams. Now according to this definition, according to this law, an element which combines with a fixed weight of the another element. Here which is the fixed weight of the another element? Hydrogen. And which is not the fixed mass of the element? Oxygen. So here oxygen is the element that combines with the fixed mass of the hydrogen. In such cases, the element whose mass is not fixed, if you take the mass ratio of that non-fixed mass element, and its ratio always a simple ratio, we get a simple ratio of its weight. That is called the law of multiple proportions. Means it is always in the form of the multiples. Okay. For example, let us take one more example, CO and CO2. So in CO and CO2, carbon atomic mass here 12 grams, oxygen 16 grams. Here carbon again 12 grams, but 2 oxygens are 32 grams. So again here also oxygen is the element that combines with the fixed mass of the another element. In such cases, the element whose mass is not fixed, and if you take the mass ratio of that particular element, you will always get the simple whole number ratio, that is here it is 1:2. So this is called the multiple proportion. It is always in the form of the multiples. That's called the multiple proportions. Now let's take the last one, law of reciprocal proportions. According to this law, weights of two different elements which combine with the fixed weight of the third element possess same ratio or simple multiples of its weights with which they combine with one another. Let me discuss about this definition. So, according to this law, weights of two different elements. So, let us pick up two different elements, say sulfur and oxygen. Two different elements I had picked up here. Okay, and when these elements combine with the fixed weight of the third element, so there must be another element. So, there are three elements. So, when these two elements, see, sulfur combines with the hydrogen, imagine it is forming H2S, where hydrogen mass is 2 grams, sulfur mass is 32 grams. And oxygen also combine with the hydrogen but forms H2O, where hydrogen mass is 2 grams, oxygen mass is 16 grams. So, what this law says is, when there are two elements combining with the fixed mass of the third element, this is the fixed mass. Here sulfur reacts with the 2 grams of the hydrogen, oxygen also reacts with the 2 grams of the hydrogen. So, when two elements combine with the fixed mass of the third element, when these two elements combines with each other, they always gives either same ratio or simple multiples ratios. Let us see here. Here 32 is to 16, let us take. 16 is to 32. So, here actually you are getting the 1 is to 2. But when these two elements combine, either they may give the same ratio or simple multiples ratios. Imagine sulfur reacts with the oxygen, gives SO2. Sulfur atomic mass is 32 and oxygen, two oxygen atoms are there, so that 32. So, we get the 1 is to 1. It is a simple ratio, simple ratio, but not the same ratio. Then where we get the same ratio? Let us take another example here. Imagine there are two elements. Let us take hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen reacts with the carbon and formed CH4. Oxygen also combined with the carbon and formed CO2. Carbon, only one carbon, here also one carbon, so that their masses are same. So, mass of the carbon here it is 12 grams, here also mass of the carbon is 12 grams. So, when two different elements combine with the third element, fixed mass of the third element, when these elements combine with each other, they follow either the same mass ratio or simple ratio. Now, let us see what is the mass ratio of the hydrogen and oxygen here. How many grams of hydrogen is involved here? 4 grams of hydrogen combining with 32 grams of oxygen. So, now here it is 1 is to 8. This is mass ratio of the hydrogen and oxygen is 1 is to 8. Now, let us take hydrogen oxygen reacted with each other and formed H2O. So, in H2O 2 grams of hydrogen, 16 grams of oxygen are there. Now, we are getting again 1 is to 8. So, what is the use of this particular rule, reciprocal proportions is, you no need to conduct the third reaction. When you know the first reaction and second reaction, without knowing this third reaction, you will be able to guess the mass ratios of the compound that is going to be formed by the combination of these two elements. That is called the law of reciprocal proportions. So, reciprocal proportion says that when two different elements combine with the fixed mass of the third element, so the third element mass must be fixed. Then you take the mass of these elements, not the hydrogen. Take the mass of the sulfur and oxygen and you will get the simple ratio or same ratio. So, this is bit a confusion, all these laws. Then how to identify in the multiple choice questions which example belongs to which question or which answer is correct. It is easy to understand. Particularly, most of the questions will not be asked based on the law of conservation of mass, because the law of conservation of the mass based on the masses only, not the ratios. So, that this cannot be, short trick is not required here. Then, what about the definite proportions? multiple proportions and reciprocal proportions. So whenever only one compound is given, see here, definite proportion says that element always combines with the fixed ratio of the weights of the other element. Elements always combine with each other. So if only one compound is given with two elements, then that always about the law of definite proportions. Next, what is about the multiple proportions? Multiple proportions always contains two compounds. Remember, always. Definite proportions only one compound, but multiple proportions contains at least two compounds, and these two compounds must have the same elements. Hydrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, oxygen. So only two compounds, not more than two compounds. So only two compounds we are taking, and that two compounds all should have the same elements. Numbers may be different, but elements must be same. So here also carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Only carbon and oxygen are present. You should not take again CO, CO2, CH4. You should not consider this one because third element is present, hydrogen. These two follows multiple proportions because only carbon, oxygen are present. So in any option, only two compounds with the same type of elements are there, then that particular follows law of multiple proportions. And reciprocal proportions. It is easy to understand. Reciprocal proportions must and should contain three compounds. Okay. So here I will take H2S, SO2, H2O. Then how to identify whether it is following reciprocal proportions or not? Very simple. In these three pairs of compounds we have to select. So there must be three compounds. So we have seen the three compounds. In these three compounds, see these two compounds are having the sulfur. Third compound should not have the sulfur again. Okay. And these two compounds, this is one pair, the second pair is having only hydrogen. And third pair is having only oxygen. So like this we have to check. First combination, second combination, third combination. So three pairs. There are three compounds with only three elements. Here H2S, SO2, H2O. You should not take nitrogen again other element because only three compounds must be there, and that too with three elements, and that three combination pairs. So first pair is having one set of same element, and second one is having the another set of the same element. Hydrogen is present here, and here oxygen is present. Similarly, let us take this combination also. Here we have taken the methane, carbon dioxide and H2O. So how many elements are present? First we pick up carbon. So one carbon is present. Hydrogen is present, and other element is oxygen. So only three elements are there. So first condition is over. Second condition is these two elements are, these two compounds are having the only carbon. This is not, no carbon is present in this compound. And next one is these two are having hydrogen is the common one and not the oxygen or carbon. So this is the second set. Here oxygen is the common one, third one. So if three compounds with three elements with the different combinations are there, or three pairs of combinations, that obviously follows reciprocal proportions. I will take some multiple choice questions so that you can understand easily how to solve these questions. See, 12 grams of carbon combines with 64 grams of sulfur to form CS2. So the compound here it is CS2 is present, and 12 grams of carbon also combines with 32 grams of oxygen to form CO2. So second one is CO2. Okay. And 10 grams of sulfur combines with 10 grams of oxygen to form SO2. These data illustrates the, so you don't need to do the calculation. Without doing the calculation, just to see what elements are present in all these compounds. Here carbon, sulfur is present, here carbon is present, extra oxygen is present, here sulfur is present, oxygen is present. So only three elements are present. I think you understood now. So here the common element is carbon, and here the common element is sulfur, and here the common element is oxygen. So 3 elements, 3 different combinations, 3 pairs. So it follows law of reciprocal proportions. Next one, second one is, which law directly explains the law of conservation of mass? Law of conservation of mass explains by simple thing, it is Dalton's law. It explains the law of conservation of mass that we shall discuss in the structure of atom. Now, third one. 2 gases samples were analyzed. One contained 1.2 grams of carbon. So, carbon is 1.2 grams and 3.2 grams of oxygen. So, oxygen is 3.2 grams. This is the sample 1. See, without doing the calculation, how to solve this question? The other sample, other compound, other one contains 27.3% of the carbon. So, carbon equals to 27.3% of the carbon, and oxygen is 72.7% of the oxygen. This is the sample 2. So, the experimental data are in accordance with, means this is, they are asking, this is about law of conservation of mass, definite proportions, reciprocal proportions, or multiple proportions. How many samples are here? Only 2 samples. And how many compounds, elements are there? Only 2 elements. And they are having the same compound or not? As same compound. Okay. So, same compound, same elements are present, and what type of the compound it may be. So, compound is same, samples are different, means only single compound is from 2 different samples. So, where single compound is present in our calculations? Single compound, it is always about the definite proportions. We have discussed now. I will take law of definite proportions about the single compound, and multiple proportions about the 2 compounds with the 2 elements, two common elements. Reciprocal proportions, 3 compounds with 3 elements. So, this one you have to remember. So, this is about the definite proportions, and you may get that, sir, how to prove it mathematically. Okay, let us prove it mathematically. So, I will take here solution for this. See, carbon mass how much? They said 1.2 grams. Oxygen is how much? 3.2 grams. Okay. So, now imagine total mass of the compound is, let us take the percentage of the carbon, total percentage of the carbon. 1 minute. Percentage of the carbon equals to mass of carbon by total mass into 100. So, mass of the carbon how much here? It is 1.2 grams divided by total mass. Total mass means this is 4, this is 4, 4.4. 4.4 means mass of the carbon plus mass of the oxygen into 100. So, let us take the 1.2 into 100 is equals to divided by 4.4, 27.27. So, approximately 27.27 means 3%. So, percentage of the carbon same. Now, let us take the oxygen, percentage of the oxygen. So, mass of the oxygen is how much? 3.2 grams. No? Okay. Let us see 3.2 grams divided by total mass 4.4 grams into 100. So this is equals to 3.2 into 100 equals to divided by 4.4, that equals to 72.272. So it is 72.72 percentage. Means percentage of the carbon, percentage of the oxygens are same as in the case of the second sample or not. So the percentage or the mass percentage of the elements in both the samples are same. Means that is constant, that is called the constant proportions. So different proportions means here option B is correct. Now let us see the question number 4. 3 grams of hydrocarbon. So there is a hydrocarbon contains only carbon and hydrogen. So CxHy, we don't know how many carbons and how many hydrogens are present. Its mass is 3 grams. On combustion, in excess of oxygen produce 8.8 grams of CO2 and 5.4 grams of H2O. Okay. The data illustrates the law of, so simple thing, this CxHy, whatever the hydrocarbon is there, it reacted some amount of the oxygen I am not balancing, just writing it, giving the carbon dioxide and hydrogens, means water, H2O. So 3 grams of this particular hydrocarbon on reaction with certain amount of the oxygen was able to give 8.8 grams of carbon dioxide and 5.4 grams of H2O. Okay. So now they are asking what type of is this. Now let us see here, 8.8 grams of 1 minute. Let us take the CO2 molecule. So in the CO2 molecule, there is a 12 grams of carbon and 32 grams of oxygen, together it is equals to 44 grams. Okay. So now 44 grams of CO2 contains 12 grams of carbon, then 8.8 grams of CO2 contains how much mass of the carbon? Means I am finding the mass of the carbon here. So this is equals to, I will tell at the end how to solve this question without doing the calculation. So 8.8 into 12 divided by 44, that equals to, so 8.8 into 12 is equals to divided by 44, 2.4 grams of the carbon. Similarly, let us take the hydrogen, because hydrocarbon contains only carbon and hydrogen. So here water molecule was given, water molecule molecular mass is 18 grams, in that 2 grams is of hydrogen, 16 grams is of oxygen. Okay. Now 2 grams of hydrogen is present in the 18 grams of H2O. Then 5.4 grams of H2O contains how much mass of the hydrogen? So mass of hydrogen is equals to 5.4 into 2 divided by 18. So we'll 5.4 into 2 equals to divided by 18, that equals 0.6 grams. Now the total mass of carbon and hydrogen is equals to 2.4 grams, 0.6 grams equals to 3.0 grams. Got it? So we got the mass of the hydrocarbon or not? So simply, without doing entire calculation, whenever a reaction is given like this, it is about the law of conservation of mass, because here we don't know what hydrocarbon is present. Formula of the hydrocarbon was not given. They simply said that carbon dioxide and H2O are formed. Only common element here it is oxygen, and carbon, hydrogen not common, and nothing was the fixed one. So no fixed one and no common, only one common element is there because of the oxygen. In such cases, we can easily calculate this, we can easily solve this question based on the law of conservation of mass, or simply when reaction is given, it is always law of conservation of mass, because in a particular reaction, reactant's mass, product's mass is given, so the masses must be same. Question number 5. Among the following pairs, the one which illustrates the law of multiple proportions. What is the main thing required for the multiple proportions? There must be two elements, two compounds, two elements with the two compounds. See here, hydrogen, hydrogen, I will take the red color. Hydrogen, hydrogen common, but nitrogen, chlorine are different. Here sulfur is common and hydrogen, oxygen different. Two elements, two compounds must be formed from the two elements. Here copper, copper are present, oxygen, oxygen, means both of these compounds are coming from the same elements, both. So this is the option. Here iron, iron is present, but here chlorine, oxygen, sulfur, different elements are there. So these are not the correct one. Next one, sixth one. Irrespective of the source, pure sample of water always yields 88.89% of the mass, oxygen, and 11.11% mass of the hydrogen. This is explained by the law. They clearly mention here, irrespective of the source. So irrespective of the source and single sample, water always contains. So this is the law of constant proportions. Okay, now I will give some more questions for your homework. So I request you all, you just pause the video while watching this one and note down these questions clearly one by one and try to put your answer in the comment box.